Welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Vasil Shevchenko, former Minister of Transportation in Ukraine. My brother, it's a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you for invitation. Thank you for having me. Nice to see you, and I'm ready to work.
Sure. Well, we recognize there's so much, going on in Ukraine. It's hard to really find where to start. But I just want to question you a little bit. Recently, Poland, and I don't think it was any error, that Putin had launched drones, over 20-something drones into Poland, and NATO had to scramble jets to shoot them down. I don't think it was an error. That was deliberate. I think that is a form of waging war. Do you think that this is a sign of more things to come, that Putin means business and he's going to attack not only Ukraine but Poland and all those other countries that are nearby?
Yeah. But first of all, I'd like to tell that we discussed it, this situation, maybe half a year, and those time we could understand that he would attack this territory. First of all, we discussed Baltic countries, and we discussed Eastern Europe country which can get under Russia's attack. And that main idea for Russia's president, it's to test NATO bloc countries. And that he has a lot of questions to the NATO bloc, and NATO has tried many times to avoid to be involved in this conflict. And I think that it's huge mistakes, because Russia's unity with autocratic countries, acts of evil, we could see in the Beijing, and they were actually satisfied. And Russia's president was encouraged to continue, because, for example, that just after that, China's officials named this drones attack results of conflict in Ukraine. They name war between Russia and Ukraine conflict. And because of it, they decided to test how NATO will react. Actually, we can see that Poland military forces didn't manage to detect these drones, and they were attacked 19 drones, and only 4 drones were shot down by extremely expensive weapon, IM-120, with the prices $500,000. They managed to intercept, to shot down only 4 drones from 19. It means that they are not ready to react for this kind of attack, because, for example, it was 19 decoy drones. It's drones for testing, and the Ukraine forces are able to detect these drones, and very often it's being intercepted and shot down by mobile fire groups. This kind of drones are flying at the low altitude, and it's possible to shoot them from machine gun. And Ukraine's unity are hunting them and shooting them down. And them we can see that radars doesn't have equipment which would allow them to detect these drones, because it's this drone's prices is about 1,000 or 2,000 United States dollar prices. And it's cheap drones which are using for testing. And then, as a result of it, we can see that Poland get under attack, and NATO bloc got under attack, and now results of this testing is not good for NATO and for Poland military forces, because I'm sure that they will do next step, because yesterday they started their common drills with the Belarus's military forces, and they are demonstrating their might. They are demonstrating picture with launchers, ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. It's type of hybrid war, because you know that they were encouraged by their allies, and they will continue demonstrating it. And what will next, we don't know, but it seems to me they will continue, because next target for their blow can be corridor between so-called Suwalski corridor, when they it's 100 kilometers between Russia's region at the north and Belarus, just for attack. They don't have enough personnel and troops to attack it, but nobody knows how they will act. And then after this blow, Baltic countries can get can be surrounded by Russia troops. And then they can provoke Baltic countries. You know that in this time, for the time of these drills, borders between Poland and Baltic countries and Russia are closed, or can be immediately closed after any provocations. And it means that all these countries which belongs to NATO bloc are under threat. And actually they will decline that it was mistakenly, and China, for example, demonstrated that they are interested in misinformation. They will tell that it's a wrong way, that it's something wrong, something happened because of Ukraine, but you know that it was launched through Belarus. Belarus informed about it Poland, and Poland didn't manage to shut it down.
Okay. Well, that's this other question. Recently, it is found that missiles launched into Ukraine, several United States-made parts was found in those missiles, as well as European parts. Do you think these parts that was found in these missiles are parts that was recently manufactured, or were these parts that was given or sold to Russia many years ago before the war started?
Now you can see that as a result of this action from Ukraine side, Ukraine forces has managed to stop Russia's action at the battle line, and mostly because of using combat middle range and long range combat elements, including missiles and drones. And these missiles can allow Ukraine forces to use it from fighter jets, and can prevent transporting, can prevent logistical chains, and to stop providing Russia's military forces. Without this services, they will not be ready to act. And as a result, we have managed to stop them. We have cruel battles at the battle line, but they are stopped. They are not ready to move without support, because these missiles partly destroyed their storages at the Ukraine's occupied territory and at the Russia's territory. And then, results of this action, we can see that Ukraine's long-range drones have managed to stop providing fuel military forces, and now we can see that Russia has stopped exporting results of oil refinery, petrol and diesel. They are prohibited to exports and have no enough for providing military forces now. And this moment is important, and it means that it's a weak point because Russia has a huge territory, but this huge territory cannot be defended by air defense system, because most defense system, air defense system, were eliminated by military forces of Ukraine, because they are trying to hold at the battle line their electronic hardware, suppressing equipment, and air defense system and radar system, and Ukraine forces are targeting, and as a result of it, we can see that they are unable to defend their refinery, and their territory is turning into their weak point. And we can see that after supplying extra missile, which will be equipped, which will be installed to fighter jets, Ukraine forces will manage to destroy all their supplying chain inside Russia's territory and temporarily occupied Ukraine's territory.
Yeah. Recently, I heard earlier this week that they had a very intensified bombing in Kiev, and a government building was struck, and it resulted in the death of, I think, 4 people or something. Could you shed some light on that?
Yeah, a few days ago they decided to demonstrate that they are able to target Ukraine's governmental building, and they targeted in the prime minister office, because this office was located in the same place they targeted, and they did it on Sunday. It means that it was their opportunity to demonstrate. It was cruise missile, and this missile targeted this building, and this time there were no governmental officials. It was empty, and there were not people, and nobody was wounded. And but at the same time they are attacking just when they are attacking Ukraine's territory, very often they are launching different type of combat elements. Drones, most of drones, we saw 810 drones plus missiles, cruise missiles and ballistic missiles. It means that it's close to 1,000 combat elements. But nevertheless, Ukraine Defense Forces has opportunity to intercept up to 90-95% drones and missiles. Most difficult to intercept is ballistic missiles, and ballistic missiles can be intercepted only by Patriot system, and Patriot system must have missiles type PAC-3. And we lack these missiles, and because of it, intercepting these missiles is very often is impossible. But nevertheless, the Russians doesn't have many this kind of missiles, and are using is not very often.
Is the European nations at this point making preparation to put forces or join collision with Ukraine in terms of putting boots on the ground in this combat?
Now we can see that Russians are trying to attack in the same place. For example, they tried to attack from northern part of Ukraine, and Ukraine forces has repelled, and now we have combat clashes at the borderline, close to the borderline, within borderline, and they decided to attack against cities in the Donetsk region because they are trying to fulfill Russia's president promises concerning Donetsk region, Donetsk-Lugansk region, the territories they have to capture, but they have lost a lot of soldiers in this place, and Ukraine forces have good fortifications and are equipped enough to stop them. It's quite difficult. We have casualties, but nevertheless they are unable to go further. And because of it, they are testing our battle line. And for example, today appeared information that they tried to attack Ukraine's fortification at the borderline and battle line, sending soldiers to penetrate to Ukraine's territory through pipeline. It was a line for gas transporting, and now they are sending soldiers through this pipeline to penetrate to Ukraine's territory, and to demonstrate that they are able to break through Ukraine's borderline, and most of the soldiers have been eliminated. It's according to the headquarter commander Ukraine forces. But you know that they have refreshed their military units, and I think that they will try to attack because we know that from the north part of Ukraine they are having military drills with Belarus, and we are afraid that they can try to attack from this part of territory, and not only from the eastern north, eastern southern part, and because of it, danger for us.
Is the buildup of those forces? Would it be a massive buildup that would overtake Ukraine in any form?
Now, I cannot say that we are prepared to repel.
This is solely Belarus or Belarusia forces, or is this a combination of the North Korean or Chinese forces? Because I think that I understood that Kim Jong-un is making plans to put thousands of troops in Russia to assist Russia in this Ukraine war. Is there any truth to that?
We only saw the information that they are ready to send, and in different type of forecast their behavior. For example, they have promises. Russians have promises not to attack NATO bloc, for example. But what about if Koreans will attack Eastern Europe countries? Whom will NATO bloc will answer? And these discussions exist, and nobody knows how to react, because Koreans were involved in waging war against Ukraine's army when Ukraine's army was attacking Russia's territory just to demonstrate opportunity and to make problems Russia's troops at the east part of combat line. And them, according to the last information, that they lost 1,000 soldiers and withdraw their soldiers. And then they again confirmed that they are ready to send soldiers. And nobody knows where they will participate, how will they participate, because they are prepared to be soldiers, but they are not prepared to wage war against drones, against artillery, when combat events are taking place from the distance 10 or 20, 30 kilometers. And very often soldiers are trying to penetrate, but it's not taking place very often. And very often soldiers are being killed or wounded from long distance. Ukraine received enough artillery, and now we count for European partners concerning rounds, extra rounds to defend our territory. And actually, threats from northern part from the Belarus exist, but we have fortification from this side, and they tried to test it, and they received actual answer, and they are they know that it's impossible to attack without serious casualties. But nevertheless, I think that this threats exist. First of all, this threat exists for European partners. I have repeated again, because we can see that they are targeting NATO bloc countries. For example, for their domestic media, they are commenting that they have been fighting not with Ukrainian forces, they have been fighting with NATO bloc countries. They never were fighting against only Ukraine forces and Ukrainians. They are fighting with NATO bloc, and their domestic media are broadcasting that its NATO countries are fighting against Russia Federation and are interested in capturing Russia Federation. And its lie is being spreaded from all propaganda media inside Russia Federation, and Russians believe it.
Do you believe over the past couple of weeks with President Trump meeting with Putin in Alaska and the close communications between both, do you think that Putin somewhat or maybe successful in manipulating the mind of President Trump to more embolden him to come after Ukraine and even wage war in the presence of Poland? What do you think?
My personal opinion is based on information from United States media that United States president from real estate business, and he has experience from this sphere, and maybe he tried to use this tactics against Russia's president, and it doesn't work in international policy because it was trap for him. Because it seems to me he thought that if he have good relation with somebody, it doesn't mean that somebody will concede something new. But United States president counted on it, and the current situation have demonstrated that he must know that if he is not be together with the Western countries, China and Russia will try to split European Union from United States. their main idea to destroy NATO bloc, and then they will be fighting differently with different countries. Inside of European Union exist countries which are providing pro-Russian interests. For example, we can see that Poland has pro-Russian political party, Hungary, Serbia, Slovakia. All this country has pro-Russian party, and they are promoting it. And I think that they will find promoters their ideas in United States, and it will undermine this world order, because their main idea to undermine world order, re-establish world order, to take control, and before to split United States from European Union, to destroy NATO bloc, and to demonstrate it. And Ukraine is first point. They haven't managed to destroy Ukraine, and haven't managed to capture Ukraine. It means that at this level they demand concession from Ukraine, but every concession will confirm Russia's, China, North Korea, Iran strengths, might. And after that, they will not be stopped. It's impossible to concede anything for invaders, because they will demand next step. And next step will be Poland, next step will be Baltic countries, maybe it will be Germany, and maybe the United States will be attacked from inside. Maybe they are not fighting. They officially are not confirming any action. They decline any action when they are captured. That it's they who behind any actions, because this tactics is implemented in their military strategy type, type of waging hybrid war. And their idea is not based only one step. They are spending a lot of money for media. They are spending money for political parties, for person who's representing their idea. Their promises, for example, to have business, and they are looking for the way to establish contact, just to achieve results.
Okay.
And because of it, it's dangerous and quite difficult to understand it for people around the world.
Well, on that note, Vasil, thank you for coming on again. We come to the end of the program. Thank you. And for all those who have been tuning in on Living in the 21st Century, have a great day.